All right, let's talk about pre-game and that first half then, Blades. Well, pre-match only one change, an animal change. Moose out and the GOAT, Billy Sharp, in. Then to the first half, really only one thing to talk about, and I wish it had stopped after 3 minutes. Rhian Brewster scored his first league goal for United on 2 minutes. A beautifully taken volley following good work from that GOAT, Billy Sharp, who outmuscled a defender, broke to the byline, then a delicious cross. Brewster with that right-footed shot from the centre of the box to the middle of the goal, a lovely strike. Other things to mention in the first half from a Sheffield United point of view, because there really wasn't a lot. Bogle picked up a yellow, as did Fleck. Now, there were signs that Rovers were coming back into this, and we kind of were let off because they scored through Ben Brereton Diaz. He finished neatly for Rovers, only to be flagged offside. But then United seemed to change their mentality after looking a bit brighter in spells, and they allowed Blackburn back into the match. Clearly, Rovers were determined to recover from losing 7-0 at home to Fulham on Wednesday, and they responded when Reda Kadra's goal made it 1-1. He danced through some really poor defending, tricking Basham. Fleck not close enough, and made it 1-1 on 37. They almost made it 2-1 immediately after that. Midfielder Jacob Davenport blazed over after a bad clearance, but we went in level at the break.
Hiya, Blades. So, just got back from Blackburn, and what can you say, really? First half went by. It weren't a great game. I thought they were in control, but never really put in pressure. We'd obviously scored early, but this second half, they were just in control. They scored easily. They weren't under that much pressure defensively. It was bad today. So second half, it started pretty much as the first had ended. I thought it was relatively even. Maybe they were a little bit more on top. But then we create a decent chance. Billy's running on goal. It's straight at keeper. Should do better. Probably should score. But he took it down well, I suppose. But then, we just same old problems that we have. There's such an easy goal that we concede. It's a simple pass down wing. Egan don't follow his man. He lets him put the ball across the box. Norwood and Basham just don't mark Diaz in the middle. One stands here, and they let him run through the middle. So easy, so simple. You've got to be better than that. And then the second goal, it kills the game, and it kills it just because we let him. Like, it's a tame shot at Olsen, who just palms it back to him and says, that wasn't your best effort, mate. Do you want to have another go? At which point he gladly obliges, takes him on and puts it in corner. It's just so poor. After that, we created a couple of chances. Moose gets a really good chance. Again, probably should do better, but it's a keeper. It then bobbles onto Billy's knee. They clear it a little bit. Gibbs-White runs into it, smashes it against the post. And other than that, there weren't that much. I don't think their keepers had many saves to make. I can't remember us having any shots on goal. There was a good clip ball over for Moose that he just couldn't be bothered to chase down properly or throw himself at. We're only losing 3-1 away, Moose. Don't worry about that. So, just such a frustrating game today. I thought that second half was really, really poor. We just ran out of ideas. It's the same kind of thing that we've seen for weeks now, where as soon as the other team get on top of us, as soon as the other team score, we just completely retreat into a shell, can't create anything, and it's safe passing. It's all safe passing. For a lot of the second half, we didn't have a plan. It was give it Gibbs-White and hope that he creates, and that we can't rely on him for that every single time. Got to be better than this. At least there's an international break, so we don't have to watch them next week. Up the Blades.
Hi Blades, I've got your player ratings for you today. Another poor game, another poor result. Not looking great at the moment, is it? I'll start with our number one, Olsen. I've given him a 3 actually today. Poor again. I don't like to be too critical of goalkeepers, but he hasn't been very good for us, has he? Third goal was inexcusable. It was a simple save and he messed it up. Second, his positioning was awful, not good. Wouldn't waste any more time in January if he doesn't improve, to be honest. But who knows? Bogle, I've given a 5. Not good from him. Questions got to be asked whether he's actually fit or not, because he did get injured only a few weeks ago. But he wasn't overly bad or overly good, really. Just nothing went his way today. Stevens, I've given a 4. Poor again, bit of a theme here, isn't there? Careless off the ball, both in attack and defence. Can't remember the last time he was actually informed, to be honest. He's another one that, when his contract comes to an end, I would not offer him another one. And if we can sell him sooner, if anyone would actually take him, I probably would. Egan, I've also given a 4. What has happened to Egan? Irrespective of the formation, there's just nothing about him this season at all. He's weak in every aspect of his play. Rarely puts a challenge in. In fact, he was lucky not to concede 1, if not 2 penalties today, with him pulling back shirts and whatnot. It was at fault in all 3 goals, really. Sad to see. I wouldn't be surprised if he's off when he gets the first opportunity, to be honest. But another one that would be tricky to see who would take him based off the form of the last couple of seasons with the defenders. Chris Basham, I have given a 6.5, probably on my man of the match. He's probably the only defender to really come out of that with any sort of credit. He maybe could have done better with 1 or 2 of the goals, but he at least put himself about. He put challenges in. He joined in the attack when he could. Hope he's here to stay in the team now, because he's the only one who looks like he's going to really do anything and actually try and keep that clean sheet. Fleck, I've given him a 3.5. He was non-existent today. Just dropped further and further back. We dropped back as soon as we scored, really, which was really odd. He wasn't too fussed to be doing anything when he had the ball either, so not really sure about him. He's not been really good for a while. Norwood, I have given him a 4. Poor again, but he did try to get his playing in parts. He played too deep along with Fleck and invited pressure on us. He did pick up a yellow card, which also suspends him for the next game. 𝐍𝐸𝐲, I have given a 6. He tried to create, he really did, but once again he was left isolated by the rest of the midfield. I think he messes up linking with Ndiaye, to be honest. With them two starting, it really started off really successfully, and those two and Sharp and whichever attacker was there, it always looked good. And then we saw it with Moose against Barnsley, you know. Some really good things there. I'm a bit miffed as to why he isn't starting at the moment, to be honest. But yeah, Morgan 𝐍𝐸𝐲 another good display. Osborne, I've given a 5. Didn't really notice him, to be honest. Ran a lot, put in challenges, but that's about it. Won't be too harsh, but wouldn't give him a high rating either. Sharp, I've given a 6. Another assist for Billy Sharp. Another solid display. Must be fuming at the state we're in, to be honest, as the captain, as a born blade. But again, he can't really help with the defensive side of the game because he's the most forward player we have on our team, and he puts in the work to create the goals and score the goals. But again, we are let down by the poor defence in our team. Brewster, I have also given a 6. Finally a league goal for the lads. I am so buzzing for him, honestly. Like, I've never been this happy to see a player score, and what a goal it was. An absolutely fantastic one on the volley from Billy Sharp's assist. Hopefully he kicks on from here and it starts his season. The team fell to pieces after his goal, funnily enough, and it's unlucky that he couldn't really try and go after another goal, because he'd have been full of confidence after that one. But yeah, good display from him. Hopefully that's the first of many. I've not given the subs the rating, to be honest, because I don't think any of them really did much and didn't really have the chance to do anything because we didn't have the ball that much. So I'm just going to stick it to the first 11. Manager-wise with Slav, I've given him a 5. I don't really think the starting team was bad, but I think the way we managed the game wasn't well, and I think there needed to be a tweak in formation or something, because there's obviously something not amiss with what we're trying to do at the moment. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long he's around, to be honest. I'm not saying Slav out or anything, but it will be interesting because I don't think many of the fans are going to stand for it much longer, and whether the board will again is another question. But you could also argue that they gave him no feet to stand on, really, because he wasn't really given any money to spend in the summer. So we'll see. But another disappointing game, Blades. But hopefully we can actually start putting some results together. I say that every time, but really hope we can start putting some results together from the next game and onwards. So until then, up the Blades.
So here are my positives and negatives of the Blackburn game. Let's start with the positives because there's only a couple. I think Chris Basham comes out with a lot of praise after today's game. Played really well on Tuesday night at Nottingham Forest and has played again, really well again today. I think it's nice to see somebody on the pitch who's committed, and we'll try and drive forward as well as Basham does and likes to do. So I think Basham comes out of the game despite the result with a lot of credit today. I also think Morgan Gibbs-White deserves a lot of credit as well today. So another positive there. He's always looking to make things happen. I really like the way that he tries to win a game. He drives us forward. He's very, very positive with the football. He's always looking to take on his man and create an opportunity. I also think as well, very, very clear when we went 2-1 down today, and certainly 3-1 down. He still looks interested. He literally tries to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and make something happen. And I think a final positive today was Brewster's goal. I think it was a really, really good finish. Potential goal of the season so far. First time like that on the volley in the air. It was an absolutely superb finish. And hopefully, that does, give him a bit more confidence in front of goal, and hopefully, can get on a bit of a run, a goal scoring run now, which he so badly needs. On to the negatives then. I'm really reluctant to dig players out in a negative way, but so I'll try and keep this more general. Our defensive frailties are going to be the reason why we finish mid-table this season, potentially even lower than that, lower mid-table as well. We certainly seemed like, it always seemed like we were going to concede a goal today, even after we'd scored. It was Blackburn came back on the front foot quite a lot. Their equaliser was coming. I think the equaliser, okay, maybe not so much we can do about that. Taking a deflection the way it did, but our defence has got to do so much better for the second goal today. Before they scored the second goal, a few of the balls have been flashing across the box, and neither the keeper was coming to claim it. None of the defenders decided, to step up and try and intercept that ball. So obviously it was inevitable that they were going to score a second goal the way they did. And I think the third goal, we've got to do so much better. We are so slow to react. It's almost as if we're surprised when a ball comes across the box like that. So yeah, the main negative today is our defence.
Blades fans, another poor match, another poor result, another game of poor defending. Been asked to answer the question, or attempt to answer the question, where does this team go from here? And honestly, I like what Nick said on his match reaction. And the quote I'm going to use for this brief 2-minute foray into how this team can get better is, let's go back to basics. Let's go back to 3 center backs, a back 3, a back 5, however we want to form it up tactically. We need 3 center backs. And honestly, this international break, the last couple, we've actually had some good games right after these international breaks. We've come back a little rested, a little fresher. Players off playing well with their countries, coming back together. And it usually moves forward pretty well. But our first game back is against Coventry. And following that, we have Reading, Bristol City, and Cardiff City. Now, Coventry, they're a promotion hunt team. They are up there with Blackburn, with all these really high-performing teams. And then the other 3 that we play after that are down with us, down, a couple points off relegation. So what we need is to switch our focus tactically. We only have a month and a half worth of games before the January window. And we cannot be throwing that 4-at-the-back system out there, hoping and praying that we're going to get more goals than our opponents. Because as we've seen the last couple matches, that's not happening. And Slav needs to recognize this and needs to understand that the players we have fit a different system than what he wants to play. And I understand his system will work and could work if we had the right personnel. And players like Morgan Gibbs-White and Iliman and 𝐍𝐸 are those types of players that can fit into his system. But right now we don't have enough attacking wide players, enough wingers. We have a lot of attacking players in our strikers and attacking midfielders, but nobody really can play out wide the way he needs us to. So how you fix this is you drop back to 3 center backs. That provides us more confidence, more cover in the defensive half of the field, as well as then letting our 2 wing backs or fullbacks be able to play more balls forward, be able to cross the ball in. And then you have a player like Morgan Gibbs-White running around as that number 10, that attacking midfielder, an advanced playmaker who can use his flair and his creativity to create things. And then you have Billy Sharp and insert striker here playing up top next to him. Billy Sharp always plays better with two men up front. And Rhian Brewster, as we saw today, plays well and scores when he's in the middle of the field, not off to the side. So how do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Back to 3 at the back, back to basics. Slav, if you're listening, this is what you need to do to get something out of this team, to get us through to January, and hope that maybe we can go back to your tactic. But until then, 3 at the back. Let's go Blades.